Okay. It's been a while since I've been on here. And I wanted to give you an update. I have the second proofs in front of me. My husband and I were out yesterday doing errands, and I got to the library, and I made the second proof patterns for all of the bedroom furniture. And I also learned some lessons the last time I printed these, because what I did was I created a PDF, and then I put the PDF into not a PDF, a PNG, and then I put it into Canva, and then I made sure to max out all of the borders. I made these as big as humanly possible, because when I print at the library, I can't change the margins. So I make them as big as possible, meaning I took them almost, when I was creating the PDFs, almost took them completely to the edge. Then the PDF was placed in, and the margins were placed at a half an inch. So what we're looking at here, let me move this up a little bit so you can see a little bit more. What we're looking at here is some of the original, I call it the Un Salon Moderne collection. And I've done some things here. I really need to add a little bit more to this piece, and I want it to match here. I made this bed bigger. I changed the quilt a little bit. I added some curved side rails and curved feet, and I made it much higher. This is the same piece, although I kept it with the square angles. I'm really happy that I have the redesign that I did for the dressing table, because I had a dressing table like this many years ago with the big Art Deco kind. So this one, from almost the get-go, everything I redesigned on it, and I redesigned two completely separate pieces. I want these to be in marble patterns, which I've gotten some pictures of marble. This was a bed that fits within that. And I had to kind of rebuild part of it because parts of it were missing. So there's going to be more on this one. This is technically its first one. And then the armoire, I want to put shelves in it instead. So it's more like a cupboard. Now, the Nandor Honti stuff. Now, the library printer is a laser printer, only prints in, I only got black and whites because that was the least expensive. And these look a bit pixelated, but I saved these all at like 800 DPI. So they look really, really good. And I'm impressed with the quality of the laser printer. So there's the bed. I also got a plain bed. The chair, which I love how that turned out. And then I added on, you can see here, okay, where am I? There. Sometimes some of these, with how small it is, it kind of gets, kind of gacked up a little bit, but I'm not crying about it. The nightstand, the little bookcase, which I want to cut these out and actually put little books in them. This is the dressing table, which I'm terribly excited about. I also did some, with the influence of the Hans Christian Madsen pieces, he did some kind of neat stuff on the back, and I don't like the backs not being decorated, so I'm trying this out to see what I like. So it kind of looks like there's a frame in here, and I would probably put wood pattern or something else in it. And of course a plain one. These are the stools that go with the dressing table, and I changed them around. This is more to the original size, and then I made one that was a little wider, thinking maybe of my own derriere, because I would need something bigger. I did some major changes to these inside pieces as well. Now, this is some of the stuff that it was like the last 24 hours prior to getting the printing done. I based these chairs off of a Virginia Hamel design from the early 50s, I think Colonial Revival. And you can see these are going to fold in. There's some interesting little cut marks here. I've added a full back to it because I didn't like the original design for how the chair went together. And then from my own childhood, I added in a little table. I like the arches a lot. And I decorated this with florals. The one from my childhood that was my mother's was blue and had a like the alphabet going around the outside and numbers, and then like a little checkerboard. And it was like a little enameled table top with a wooden bottom. So I think I want to have a couple of different versions. So I kind of did my own kind of, this is more of a Fisher-Price colonial revival kind of look to this. This piece that I'm calling Dolly Bed is just a 3-piece bed. I've added some extra pieces that are going to go to the inside because I don't like the effect that it's not decorated on the inside. This is the piece that got me the little, where did I pull this from? I pulled this from something else. This, I got him wrong. This, I have 2 cradles here. This is a Hans Christian Madsen that you can see I didn't add anything else in here. I kind of want to see whether I like it. I think I'm going to need to change this bit. I don't know. This little bit, this little cradle that comes in 3 pieces is from a little golden book from like the mid-50s. I changed around the bottom part because I didn't like, there were some weird curls and curves in here I didn't like. It's not that I couldn't do them, it's just that I didn't think they were necessary. And I just needed to kind of see whether this would go together or not. And I kind of kept some elements, including this like tulipy shape, and this little kind of, it looks like it's off of a violin. I kept that. That's what got me rolling for doing these pieces. And I actually did this little piece first. So you can see I've got little flowers and all kinds of stuff here. Because the whole Pennsylvania Dutch, which is basically just because Americans didn't know that Deutsche meant Germany, is something that was in my household a lot. So I think that's why I kind of have an affinity for some of these patterns. So I'm going to be putting these together. I made 2 of them because there were a couple of different things I wanted to do with them. And with these, it's kind of it was an accidental print. Now, here, I'm going to get rid of these things under here so you're not confused by them. These are the Mary Frances Housekeeper pieces that I did massive changes to because there were elements to it that I really liked, but others that I'm just like, this construction makes no sense. So these are the ones where I'm going to have to come in and do a cut, and there's going to be a fold in. I extended the legs a bit. They may need a little bit more. I didn't print out, well, maybe I did. I think I did maybe print out some of their mattresses because I need to know how high it's going to be. I tried to make them so that you can see here where this dotted line is, that it doesn't extend too far up into the design. So there's that one. This is another one of the Mary Frances ones, but with this kind of, it kind of looks like pine needles and I don't know, something else. This is from that 1940s bed that the copy was so bad that I just went ahead and just went in and rebuilt the whole thing. And this part, I've extended these parts and made them much bigger and then made a cutout part here. So we can have a hole that looks through so they look more like, you know, real dressers. Or not real dressers, real legs. This is from the Mary Frances. Big honkin' dresser. And you can see I've goofed around with some of these patterns again to see what I can, you know, this one was really, I was playing around with the patterns to see what I could come up with. And then this was the one, this is actually from the 1940s, which there's no artist ever listed. I'm just saying 1940s. However, the way that I restyled it and put it together, it looks so much more like one of the Imagine Grand Construction from Epinal So I think one of those pieces that I had been working on for the dining room really influenced this piece. And I really like how this came together with pieces in the decorations in the foreground, in the background. There's something very pleasing about this design. I think part of it is the like overall like balance of the piece. And then I kind of lost my mind up here and did all kinds of stuff. I still need to figure out how I'm going to finish off some of these bits here. Another one, this one is a chifforobe because it's high. No, it's a bureau. It's got a mirror. It's not a chifforobe. And as always with me with prints, I hate having empty space. So if I'm going to pay for them, I'm going to stick something there. So there's another chair if I need it. This is one of the little single beds. I really like how this one came out. I really like how this one came out. These are some back pieces, some pieces of mattress and other things that are supposed to go on here. The top for one of the dressers, the one that had that fancy design on it. And I did, this is also, these are Mary Frances, like, I would have to say like craftsman-esque chairs. I did some extending of things here. I moved some things around up here and up here. I still think I need to make that tab a little bit bigger. And then I created a whole separate back. Because again, I just didn't like how the chair went together. How the kid was supposed to like fold it. It just looks like such a disappointment. Okay, this one I know. If you look at this right here, this mattress is very thin. This is for one of the Mary Frances beds. And this is another one of the backing pieces for the bureau, because that big bureau, because you can see there's little curly bits in there. More mattresses, other copies. Okay, now for some of the unattributed 1940s stuff, here's another. This one's a chifforobe, which I had. This one, the design initially was like there's absolutely no problem. So all I did was I added the bottom pieces and then the top pieces to go on there, and then I'm thinking about maybe a back piece that will extend up, which I kind of like that look. These are the Doris L. Howard pieces. This is a dressing table, and one of the things I liked about this design is you fold in these mirrors, so it gives it more dimension. I'm not sure how all of this is going to work though. There's a part in my mind where it's like I know where this stuff is supposed to go, but you don't really know it until you're in it. And I struggled with how to put this lineup together of all these drawers. I had like 7 different lineups. And I finally was like, why don't I just add these decorative elements in the bottom, this little niche. And it worked. And then I also just did the little spiral designs because I wasn't sure kind of what design pattern I wanted to use on any kind of decorative elements. And I like how they look on the little bench. And then that's just the bottom piece. I did 2 of those because, like I said, I don't know how this is going to go together, so I may have to do some major reworking here. This, you may have remembered, this was the little chest from that Doris L. Howard did. Well, I wanted to make this more of a beefy top, so I did another design in which I created a squared top, meaning it's like a box that goes onto a box. But then I was looking at this, and I have a father who was a locksmith, so I went in and made them way fancier. You can see I went in, I looked at some other hinges, some like hysterical ones, and then from my own childhood, remembering, I can show these the right way, hinges and locks and things we had in the house. You can see I've added some little bits of panel here, and I did that here as well. I printed out 2 of these because I'm not sure how it's going to go together, and I want to make sure I got it right. This is the desk, which last time the desk was so tiny, so this should go a lot better. I made 2 versions of this, one even bigger, and these are shelves that go someplace else. And then the bunk beds, which the bunk beds I printed out because I couldn't get it all on one, even an 11 by 17. I couldn't make it all fit. And the mattress portion of this is a huge component. I can't not have that. The only component I left off here is the back piece of the mattress, which I'm like, I can just cut that out of cardboard and use it and do it myself. I've added a pillow piece. These are 2 of the rails, and you can see this really faint lines. That's where the mattress is gonna like slot in, like fit in. There's gonna be a cut, and they're just gonna go shoop and fit in. And then this is the footboard. These are the sideboards, and they fold in, and then this is the headboard. And I know that's kind of weird and complicated, but I can see it in my head and how it goes together. And I made enough to make 2 of them in case something goes sideways. Because I did the proof of concept. Where is it? I must have put it, I must have put it somewhere. Of using the very same heavyweight paper that Union Printing uses. And the proof of concept was, can I fold this 5 times? And you'll notice it's not 4 with a tab. I did a full 5, and I think that helps strengthen things up. The only thing you don't see is the ladder, which I was like, duh, where's the ladder? Here is, I thought I had 2 copies of the Monnier bed. I made some major changes to this bed. I took out a lot of stuff. I've changed this around. This is more like it's going to have a better time sitting. It's going to be square with the tab, although on that, now that I've done this over here with the bunk beds, I think I might need to just add a full 5 on there. So it's 4 of them and a 5th one. And I'm calling these bump rails. I did another one with a scoop rail, which I really liked, and I didn't print that one for some reason. This is a drawer for the top of the Monnier, wardrobe. And here's the wardrobe. I'm glad I printed this really, really, really large. I like to do some other designs with this, like some other decorative sorts of stuff, and I really want to add in like paint. There's something about this that I just want to be like over the top. So I did all of that, and then I've been hemming and hawing about how I'm going to, let's move this up, how I'm going to be gluing it to the paper, because last time it just did not work out really well. So what I've done is I've created myself like a little glue jig, and in here, I don't know if, yeah, can I open this up all the way? If I open this up, you can see in here, I've got 2 pieces of board. This is where the paper will sit. This is the white sulfite drawing paper. This will hold this down enough that I can put the glue on it using a brush to get the glue on, and then my fingers hopefully won't get sticky. These pieces that you see here, I'm gonna trim down. So I do have the ability to just print. I mean, I could just trim the edges here and then just flop it all in one, but I don't think that's going to work for me. Plus, I also need to take into account which way the paper fibers are going, because I want them to be at cross. So that'll add a little bit more stability and make it a little easier to glue. And why am I not, like, say, using just a glue stick? Because this doesn't hold. It will not hold for the amount of like roughness I need to get into. So I'm going to be, I learned my lesson. I think my glue last time was a little too thin. I'm gonna beef it up to more of a 60-65 glue, maybe 70% glue, 30% water. to make it a little easier to spread around, which in that case means instead of using a brush, I'll probably just use a piece of chipboard to spread it around and then place things down. The one last thing, and I have one already, I mean, this is the piece that I cut out. There's a part of me, I think I want to trim this a little bit on the edge and then give it a good press this way. Does that make sense? And then pull it up and go in with a bone folder. And I know this seems like extravagant. You know, I designed this before I went to bed last night. I was falling asleep and I designed this in my head. And it took me, I don't know, half an hour to knock together this morning. I glued on this hinge, this part here, if I can get this in here, and then added some brads. I countersunk the brads in the back, backed them with a little bit of chipboard so there's not going to be a hole or anything there. Put some tape over it. So that should hold. And the reason I took so much time to build something like this is if I want to do this, because I was thinking about gluing different papers together, and I work with a lot of newsprint. This could also help with that in holding the paper stable, stabilizing the paper, so then I can do what I want without getting all kinds of gluey fingers. Does that make sense? Because most of the time when I'm working with anything that's paper and gluey, I'll have a washcloth with just water in it, so I can at least like get it immediately off my fingers if I need to. But it's just, I want to see if this works. Let's just say that. So this morning, I built this. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to trim this a little bit out. I'm going to start some gluing. I'm going to do a couple of glue tests and see what mixture works the right way, and if this method of putting something down on top is going to work to press it down. So we'll see. But I'm very excited to get everything started, and there's a part of me too that is like itching to get into some creative bits. I mean, I've been doing creative stuff, but like I want to like make something with my hands. So the one thing I didn't print out was a set of shelves for the children's room. That all of those little child's table and chairs and things. I built that for a child's room, and I had also put together some shelves and some other things, and for some reason those P&Gs just did not end up getting used. So we're going to have to go up that way again in the next couple of days. I'll print them out then. And then by having this jig made, gluing things down hopefully will not be as hard. So sorry for this being such a long time coming. Know that every day I come in and I sit down at my desk and I turn on my computer and I start work. And I got an immense amount of happiness out of when I started putting together, let me find one of these, the little, wow, I buried these in here, the little children's stuff, the children's room stuff. There was a part of me that was like, I got the bunk beds done, and I was like, okay, these are going to work. These are going to work. I know these are going to work. But doing the children's stuff was like, I don't know what it was. Like, it was, once I got to this little golden one, and then this design comes from a South American / Spanish from España artist, illustrator. But when I hit these, there was just, woo! And that's one of the reasons I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get that shelf in there, because the shelf I built from scratch, meaning I took some dimension cues from this and then added in elements with curves and all kinds of other stuff. And I was really proud of the back piece of wood. I did a big scrolly piece that's like this with little elements in it. So anywho, I kind of feel like I hit my stride by building something completely from scratch. which I really liked. So I'm going to stop blabbing, I'm going to stop stalling, and I'm going to go get to work. So thank you, patrons, for following me, and I'll see you in the next video.